Oh, we're gonna race the Jag F-Type R in the Kia Soul. I'm losing already. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are in a 2023 Kia Soul LX, and we are going to test drive this vehicle. Kia Soul just got updated for the 2023 model year. Unfortunately, the turbo engine no longer available, but we do have a decent 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that gets the job done just fine. So far, my experience with this car is that the power is adequate. Certainly not a hot rod of any description, but it has plenty of power for getting on the freeway, doing what you need to do, getting around town. It's a relatively small vehicle anyway, so that's fine. And in my experience so far, also the fuel economy is better than advertised, so that has been a pleasant surprise. The ride and the handling are good, but not great. The ride can be a little choppy, especially at freeway speeds, but it's not uncomfortable. And the handling is, I would say, pretty decent. Numb, light steering as you get in a lot of modern cars, but the car comports itself through the curves just fine. And I have the privilege of driving a lot of different kinds of cars, and this is one of the least expensive new cars that I've driven in quite a while. MSRP on this particular example was right around $22,000. So that's always something to keep in mind, for me anyway, since I drive so many different kinds of cars. And I would say that for the money, $22,000 is now a pretty darn inexpensive car as far as new cars are concerned. For the money, this car drives very well. It is possible, obviously, to get vehicles that ride smoother and handle better and go faster, but you're going to pay more money for the privilege. And I've always liked the Kia Soul. I think it's a charming car to me. I like the way it looks on both the inside and the outside, and it's just a car that puts a smile on my face, and driving it's just fine. You know, it's nothing groundbreaking here. But if you're looking for a small, they call this a subcompact SUV. I don't know if I can buy that. I mean, I guess that the feel and the position and the ride height is a little bit higher than a standard, you know, small car, but it doesn't have SUV type ground clearance. It doesn't offer 4-wheel drive. And I feel like the Koreans get pretty liberal with what they label as sport utility vehicles. I'm talking about cars like this. I'm talking about the Hyundai Ioniq 5. I mean, they can call them SUVs all they want to, but to me it just doesn't quite look like an SUV or feel like an SUV. But as far as a compact car is concerned, it is very, very good. And I think it's good value for the money. Even in this LX, this is the LX, which is the base model, and this one has the LX technology package. So the blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, alloy wheels. For $500, I think the LX technology package is a very good value. And then, you know, just the LX in general. I mean, I have a touchscreen radio with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I have a fully digital instrument cluster that's not the fanciest one in the world, but it looks all right. And for the money, it's a nice upscale touch. So yeah, it's a cool car. And I will put a full review link to the full review that I did in the description. It does get a little choppy through the bumps and through the curves, owing probably to the shorter wheelbase and the fact that, you know, for 22 Gs, they're not going to put the most sophisticated suspension in this thing. But it's fun. It's a fun little car. It looks fun. It feels fun, you know. It's just like, hey, it's a happy car. This car makes me happy. I enjoy driving this a lot more than some significantly more expensive cars. And that's not to say that this is better. I just like it better. I drove it to work the last couple of days, and my coworkers, some of them are very much car snobs, and they were like, "You're really driving that?" And it's like, yeah, it's cool. I like it. What the hell, you know? Not everybody wants or needs or can afford a $90,000 car. And, you know, this is a fantastic option for somebody who's looking for a brand new car and who's on a little bit of a budget. I highly recommend it. I think that you could do a lot worse. And I'm a big sedan guy. I love sedans. But for the money, I think this might be, you know, if I was choosing, say, between this and a Kia Forte, or like this and a Corolla, I think I'd go with this because it's a little bit more distinctive. And, you know, I like the sedan ride height. And like I said earlier, even though they try to call this an SUV, it's not really an SUV to me. So, yeah, I think this is just a more interesting choice than, you know, some kind of a subcompact sedan, and still very nice car to drive. It's comfortable. My one complaint about this car, and again, for 22 G's, you can't have everything. The stereo is a little bit weak. You have to like crank it up to the max, especially on the highway, to really hear what's going on. But, you know, you can still put aftermarket speakers in a car, so that's not a big deal. We're gonna do a little U-turn here. And I'm gonna put it into sport. And I'm gonna floor it. Oh! Traction control had to cut in there for a second. Feel the speed. I mean, yeah, it's not super fast, but it gets up to speed. I mean, it's fine, you know. This has the intelligent variable transmission, which is a continuously variable transmission, and Kia goes to great lengths to hide the fact that this is a CVT, both with the name and with the way that it functions, because it always feels like it has stepped gears. It's always in that mode. It never goes into a pure CVT mode. So it works fine. I don't mind CVTs. I'm one of the rare people who thinks they're okay. I'm gonna put it back into normal drive mode. So I kind of wish that it would revert. I wish that you had a choice to put it into like CVT mode or stepped gear mode. It's all electronics. They could give you that choice, but they just don't want to confuse their clients because not everybody understands or likes what a CVT does. And automakers listen to people on the internet to an extent, so they read all the tens of millions of complaints from the tens of thousands of people who probably can't afford a brand new car anyway and are out trying to find a used Subaru WRX with a manual or something and complaining loudly about CVTs on every YouTube video they watch. So, but yeah, the transmission's fine, the engine's fine. It's not the most refined four-cylinder in the world, but honestly, it's not the least refined four-cylinder in the world. I find Kia and Hyundai's four-bangers to be a little bit more refined than Toyota's, to be honest with you, although not as refined as Honda's. So, you know, kind of take that for what it's worth. But yeah, it's a good little car. Let's see. That's 65 miles an hour on a decent road, to give you an idea. There is a little bit of wind noise, not an undue amount considering the price point. There's a little bit of tire noise, but again, not an undue amount. Yeah, it's good. Ever since these came out, I've always liked the way they looked, and the The ones that I've gotten to drive, I've always thought that they were fine to drive. It's, you know, it's exactly what it should be. It's just a funky little compact car, you know? And I think that the value for money is right on point. And this is a very, very good choice for somebody who's in this price range looking for a new car. And, you know, if you can find one that's a couple years old in good shape with low miles and it's a few thousand less than a brand new one, you know, that's really good value too. One thing, if you are going to buy one of these, or you have bought one of these, if you've bought it new, just be aware that 10-year, 100,000-mile mega amazing warranty for the powertrain, the engine, and the transmission, they will decline any warranty claim on that if you cannot prove that you have had every single oil change and manufacturer's recommended service done, like, on the dot. So if you bought this car for the warranty and you're planning on keeping it for a long time, and you want to make sure that that warranty stays in effect down the road, then please do all your oil changes, all your manufacturer's scheduled maintenance per the owner's manual on time. If you have a good relationship with your local dealer, if you have a good local dealer, I would advise just doing it there so that it's all in their records if anything ever comes up. But if you're going to do it on your own, or if you're going to do it at Jiffy Lube or something like that, make sure to keep the receipts, keep the records, because God forbid if the engine grenades at 85,000 miles and you can't prove that you had every single oil change, they'll just tell you no. The warranty is contingent upon regular maintenance being performed on the vehicle. So that'll be $6,000, please. So yeah, that's just one thing to keep in mind. And if you're looking at one of these pre-owned, the 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty on the electrical systems transfers to the second owner, but the powertrain warranty does not. So that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty is not transferable. That's a little bit of a hitch in the giddy up as well. So that's just a little piece of consumer advice for you. And with all that being said, I think I'm pretty much just gonna wrap this video up. This is a very nice little car to drive, good value for money. I do recommend it if this is the price and size class that you're interested in. Definitely check out the Kia Soul. If you already own one of these cars, leave me a comment. Let me know how you like yours, if it's doing well for you, if you would recommend it to other people. Please like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.